This is Team Outliers, and today we're going to present our results from Lab8 report. And then Tiffany will start with the first session on how to post the data to ThinkSport.io directly from Termix.
Hi, so first we remove our Node-RED from our Android phones on Termux, and then we installed curl. And after that, we use curl to post data to our ThinkSport.io, and then we posted temperature and the humidity data by using our cloud instance address and the access token of the device. And as you can see on the things board, in the latest telemetry, we have the humidity and temperature data with the values that we typed into Termux on there. And for part two, Claire will explain how to use Python to read and post the sensor data.
Okay, so for part two of our project, we try to write a script in Python to read the data and then post the data to sensors. To post the sensor data to ThinkSport.io. So first we install all the necessary package that we needed, and then we produce the script that will help us automate all the data from using the termix sensor command. And then in our Python script, so for example, sensor2.py, that one helps us to collect the temperature data and then store it in the temp folders on ThinkSport.io. So in the script, we were able to get the location by grabbing the latitude and the altitude. And then for temperature, we'll use the Open Weather Map API and then grab the current temperature from the current latitude and longitude. And then for sensor3.py, we use the script to collect pressure data and then source in the pressure folders on ThinkSport.io. And again, we grab the location using latitude and longitude on our phone sensor. And then we grab the pressure using the same API, but in this time we will grabbing the pressure units, pressure data instead of the temperature data. So for all three of our Android phones, we use the script above, and then we're able to get all the necessary data needed for temperature, pressure, and then locations. And then Raj will continue on part three to explain how we use Python to read and post the sensor data.
Oh, for part three, as our all our Android phone doesn't have a pressure sensor to monitor it, so we use the same technique what we use on a temperature sensor. We just get the location of latitude and longitude, and we pass as a parameter to an open weather API, and we got the pressure data. As you see in the code sensor3.py. We are just using the API, and we are just calling the things using giving input as latitude and longitude, and we are getting the output the same thing. And for this particularly, I used in the Python subprocess instead of Pimax library, because Pimax library runs very slow, and it's in our especially in all our Android phones. And I figured out like this sub process is somewhat connected with C programming language, like it has a direct access to the all the hardware components. So it is somewhat faster compared to the other code. And that's it for a sensor 3 PY. When we initiate it and start running this, as you see, I can okay. I can show you that we are collecting that data. Yes, it's you can see we are collecting latitude, longitude, pressure, as well as timestamp. And yeah, moving on to four, Tiffany will explain that.
Hi, so for part four, which is displaying the data using the map widget, in our things board IO in the dashboards, um, and then open up the pressure. And if you scroll down for the Google map, we set in the map widget setting, we set the data keys as latitude, longitude, and pressure. And in the toolkit, um, we can display the values of each key when we use our mouse to like hover over the pinpoint on the map. And then the data of longitude, latitude, and pressure will show. And so for the part 5, Claire will talk about how to retrieve data from ThinkSport.io database.
So in part 5, we produce a query that will help us to get the sensor data that is stored in a database associated with the things.io. So the script basically help us to import and configure it. So we use the request library to make HTTP calls, JSON to handle JSON files, and then date time to manage date and time. So we also adjusted the time to calculate to the Pacific time zone. And then the JWT token authentication will help us retrieve a JWT token to authenticate the request to ThinkSport the API. And we retrieve the table by constructing a URL to fetch telemetry data and makes a GET request to retrieve the data. And then we handle the data to be in the JSON format, which using the JSON library to do so. So following these scripts, we're able to grab the data from things.io database. And then the next section, Raj will show us how the data looks like on Folium.
Yeah. And I use the Claire's code as a function. You see, like I use this function as get data function and I dive into this thing. So yes, when you start using it, I'm getting the data from here, the get function method, and I'm also importing the Folium as well as the Panda. And after getting the data, I'm just converting into the pressure data frame, and I'm just retrieving all the data sets. And now, as we move forward, like I use this Folium map function to locate and to use some kind of marker to pinpoint that thing. As you see, I'm also running this as a local, I mean, like in the local host. As you can see, oh, let me run it, okay? Yeah, as you see, this is running a local host, and yeah, you can see it's I use a cloud marker to mark it as your which point, and also hosted it in a AWS server. So whenever we hit the link, we can see the point of what's happening here exactly. And yes, and this is for Lab 8. Thank you.